Et salut à tous, c'est Goubi, on se rejoint sur Disco Elysium. Le dernier épisode, c'était vraiment un bain de sang et on va voir ce que ça donne, hein. On peut aller enfin ici, on n'était pas allé jusque-là.
These papers bear the stamp of the RCA.
I had Garth open the door to your room. You were running a low bacterial fever the first night.
Je devrais
Not this
craindre.
again. You pull your weight, okay?
Il a laissé un mot.
Next to the stack of bills, you see a note. A few lines jotted. I'm sorry. I fucked everyone over. P.S. I didn't kill him. P.P.S. Gift upstairs.
A gift.
Qu'est-ce qu'il
I
y a?
am not drawing my gun. Yet. But I don't like gifts.
Just don't walk into another radio trap, okay?
Donc ça partit
It's
là.
hardly surprising.
You see the same two neon lit
This is ballistics. She's left a trajectory for us.
array of backward
Emmène
motion.
le
It
fil.
suggests the bullet came from the extreme upper quadrant of possible angles, from a point beyond the roof. B triple prime. The island in the bay.
Est-ce qu'elle essaie de nous dire que l'île vient de l'îlot?
Unless she thinks the perpetrator was standing on the ring antenna. That is where the thread seems to point.
On l'a fait pour reconstituer la
She
scène.
was there that night. She would have known precisely where the bullet hole was in the glass. It also looks like there may be more to her skill set than we know. The question is, should we trust her? I find that hard to believe.
C'est un
At
passement
this
qu'on n'a pas
point,
encore éliminé.
so it is.
For a second he seems tired.
Il va falloir aller sur l'île.
He is trying to justify it to himself.
Okay, let's go to the fucking island. How do we get there? Joyce Messier had a sloop, but she's gone. Maybe. There were boats there. We should ask around.
Et B, est-ce qu'on peut faire un voyage rapide? Je vais pas faire le miroir, tout ça. Flemme.
Oh, you're up. It's good to see you back on your feet. Did you like your room? I cleaned it for you.
Merci, c'est nickel.
You're welcome. I thought it would be nice for you to wake up in a clean place after you, let's be fair, defended this establishment and its clientele. Defended maybe putting it a bit generously, though. I had a great view of you doing nothing to stop those psychopaths. Then I crawled inside. Bullets started flying.
He really wants you to realize that he was also on the balcony looking by, in the danger zone, so...
I wish you a quick recovery. Also, you and...
C'est pas ça, truc, hein.
you know, people don't tend to stick around after shootouts.
Ah oui.
Turns out they're not good for business. Ah, them. Nice people, but no. Lena said they were going back to Jamrock. I saw them pass by outside. I'm glad she got out of here before all that. Bullets flying and stuff. People inside were... Yes.
He's almost completely forgotten what this began.
I mean, you're a detective.
Exactly. But all in due...
You'll see her again one day. You know it.
I don't remember everyone who comes here. And yeah, I was.
It really took courage. Don't pick
C'est un gros
Yeah,
dur.
I don't know. Clients were panicking.
He means it.
No problem.
Seeing you approach, the bruised man clenches his fists.
Oh, it's you. Didn't think we'd see you walking anytime soon. Elaine, look. It's the cowardly cop.
Huh? What?
He's very, very drunk.
Our condolences for your losses.
Titus is fucking dead.
What's gonna happen to the Hardy boys? Look around you, man. No, man. I don't know. I guess the Union will still be policing the neighborhood, but who's gonna do it now? Anyone ever tell you you're a total dickhead? Well,
Yes, people.
does he look like
He does not. While still alive,
he wasn't? That's the thing. Titus, Theo, Dennis, Angie, they're all gone.
There's nothing left.
This is a broken man. He probably feels that he should have been able to. I'm not suggesting much. All I'm saying is, he lost everything.
What? Sons of bitches.
Was this really the best idea? I guess you may have prolonged his existence a bit, if you can still remember.
If you think this will keep him from offering him damn songbird of misery.
And do you have any information?
God said she took off sometime before the firefight. That's all.
she's gone.
Yeah, you too. Both of you. We shouldn't have fucked with you like we did. You got between us and a lot of bullets in that fight.
That's kind of you to say. Take care of your friend.
I will.
A sharp pain shoots up your side and into your stomach. The graffito has been painted over the traces of the fight that took place here. It smells of... This was Cindy the Skull.
Le mec Cindy a finalement trouvé les mots pour son chef-d'œuvre.
The lieutenant crouches, touching the...
Looks like it. Yes.
Son mazout.
And blood. Some of it is even yours.
Heavy fuel oil. Isn't that...
Où l'on va venir?
You could buy some smokes, light up a ciggy and throw it in there. You know, just to see what happens. See if it's flammable. It's better that way. A colorful...
Again, I'm obliged to inform you that both alcohol and... Here you go, mister.
The tear machines. Your bottles clunk. The graffito has... This was Cindy the Skull. The fuel oil catches fire immediately with a low hiss. The lieutenant has taken a small step back. He looks at your face illuminated by the flames. The flames warmed him too.
Let's go to that island.
Slowly, the flames subside.
Officer, what happened? You're wounded.
She sounds almost disappointed with you, reprimanding you for falling and hurting your knee.
J'ai vraiment fait du mal.
Is this from the shooting in town? We heard gunshots. Not that we don't hear gunshots all the time, but they were closer than...
There was an exchange of fire on Rue de Saint-Guylaine. It's nothing to be worried about, madame.
That's nothing to brag about, officer.
Ah, it's not serious.
You feel the ligament move on your left shoulder, and a small...
Of course. Can I help you with something?
Ouais, je dois aller sur l'île.
That won't be a problem. It's wind still and the tar just dried. We've got 2 days of relative sunshine ahead.
Je peux emprunter
If
votre
you
bateau?
promise to bring it back, and no scraping the hull. I just got it nice and yellow, and no drinking on the boat.
Of course, ma'am. It's only for a day or two. Official.
Aye.
The crow's feet disappear from the corners of her eyes as she smiles at you.
Please be conservative with the fuel, will you? Just...
A skiff with once you have you made all the necessary preparations? Closed or remember what the net picker said? It's a small tank. You won't be going back and forth on this.
Allez, let's go. Ah, la DA elle est quand même assez originale. Puis un jeu en isométrique quand même, c'est sympa. J'avoue que je m'attendais pas du tout à ce style de jeu, cette ambiance, et même qu'il y ait des morts, tout ça. Déjà que le jeu était assez vulgaire, mais là qu'il y ait des morts et tout, ça me surprend, je pensais pas que ça allait être comme ça. J'espère que si vous êtes arrivé jusque là, c'est que vous kiffez toujours. Si vous êtes arrivé jusque là, ça me fait plaisir, merci d'avoir suivi. Bon, c'est beau, c'est sympa la musique, ça aurait quand même pu faire plus court. En espérant que ce sera la fin de l'histoire ici. Mais bon, je vois pas trop ce qu'il pourrait rajouter encore s'il n'y a pas la fin ici. Et qui est ce fameux meurtrier, quoi? Tout le monde s'est barré, tout le monde est mort.
The boat comes to a slow stop in the silence.
Let's go.
The chain trails off into the ocean.
Ah, yes, so it seems.
Ça aurait
For
pu servir.
bringing munitions to the island, maybe? And supplies? You could also lock the bay when you... From
Okay.
enemies. Enemies of the commune of Revachol. The sea fort.
Ce serait Cindy.
There's a greasy old spring mattress in the corner.
Someone has been squatting here. The linen is fresh, recently washed.
Les signes qui montrent que quelqu'un vit
You
ici.
force the rest of the sentence out through pain.
You know, officer, you can rest here if you are feeling tired. I will keep watch. You could use some rest for what's ahead.
You face the concrete wall. There's less light there. And you didn't realize how tired you were. The blanket feels cold. You feel yourself standing up in the darkness, right next to the mattress. Sleep.
Merde. Mais non. J'aurais écouté le lieutenant et en fait c'est lui. J'aurais peut-être dû monter.
Dolores Day, the innocence of humanism, internationalism,
Quoi?
and the welfare state turns around. Okay, don't say you need to talk right away.
Ah, c'est dans mon rêve,
Melt
ça,
the
c'est pas
ice first,
possible.
but you don't even want to talk to her. She would only be cold and mean. Let her go.
C'est louche tout ça.
Sorry. I was heading to the aerodrome. I just don't have to.
She means she doesn't have time to.
I'm
Vois-tu?
going to Morova. To live there, in Grad. It's 1 million kilometers away, Harry. Might as well be another lifetime. No, Harry. No. I don't want a massive, epic showdown. I want to go to the aerodrome. We don't have anything to talk about anymore. Every combination of words has been played out. The atoms don't form us anymore. It's all gone. I have to go to the aerodrome.
Oh God, whatever you do, don't try to kiss her yet. Not after that. You're still reeling. You'll fall over if you try now.
M'en fous. Enfin, ma dégaine.
With your feet trembling from the step, she is not kissing you back. The
T'entends pas mon
moment
baiser?
is ending. She is going to move her face away from yours. Trying hard not to look at you when she withdrew and you held on to her hand. Brother, you should put me in front of a firing squad. I have no words for how I failed you.
T'as pas répondu à mon
She
baiser?
breathes out heavily, as if something painful has passed through her, and she shakes her head one more time. The evening wind rustles her hair.
Pourquoi tu n'as pas
Why
répondu?
did you do that to yourself? You know I don't cheat, Harry. I never cheated on you.
C'est donc toi, c'est le
No.
Shangon.
I'm just Dora.
Alors c'est comme ça,
No,
c'est fini.
Harry. Not yet. There is one more thing you have to see. I'm pregnant.
Moi le père?
Of course not. I terminated yours. Don't you remember? You poor fuck. Poverty-stricken. Now, go ahead. Ask me more questions.
No more questions. Ask more.
La
I
figurine.
don't want it. It looks expensive. I don't want it.
Pas de
That's not what figurines do, Harry.
She looks at the headless found rider.
TD.
Harry, I don't want things. I didn't ask for things. It's too late to give me anything. I would have liked the headless fallen rider back then.
Bah, c'est
It's
pas
not.
comme ça.
But
Tout?
that's it, yes. We've talked about it a million times. You will get over it, just like I did. People do.
Where in? Stop. You're only making it worse for him. You never help with anything.
T'es qui déjà?
It just takes some time. For you, it will take something like 20 years, maybe. But I can.
It's not. It's just not possible. It's like eating rocks. You just...
What other things? We've...
It was her. I can feel it. I can see it in her.
As Queen Regnant, I write a lot of letters.
You need to recite it to her. For a year. Put a stake through. She won't get hurt. She'll bend out of the way.
Parce que tu m'as laissé une lettre disant que tu me serais toujours fidèle.
Okay, Harry. Okay. It was morning and you slept. The room smelled
C'était l'automne, le
of
premier automne, mais
cigarettes
Harry,
and
s'il te plaît, tu dois
roses.
comprendre, c'était il y a 1 million d'années,
It was
non?
100 million years ago.
Il y a 100 millions d'années, j'étais quelqu'un
I
d'autre,
was
je l'avais
someone
d'amour,
else then.
suspendu à tes lèvres, je
Filled
buvais
to
la
the
moindre de tes
brim with
paroles.
love for
Harry,
you.
tu étais le plus cool de tous, mais j'ai
Hanging
changé
on
du
your
tout au tout.
every word.
Je te dévorais, Harry, je
The
te dévorais
light
ton
of the video rental shines through her dress now. A DeLorean figure, cut in black, moves below.
J'étais
The
cool.
coolest. With your leather jacket and your boot-cut pants. Smoking in the bus stop. I wanted you to be the rest of
Mon
my
premier
life.
baiser,
that
mon
day.
premier
The
amour.
first and worst time I fell in love. I will always have
Que se
that.
trouve
It's
Voyager
here.
Road?
We are on Voyager Road. At the end of it, there. You could not pay the electrical bill. It became a lightless tomb. The years you spent training for the militia. Is there really anything left? If I have
Papa?
to, Harry. Really, I've already missed the 8:30.
I was wrong. You don't have power over her anymore. You shouldn't have said that. I am wrong about everything.
Ok, je comprends.
No, you don't. You're just being a martyr. And I'm really going now. The time is up.
Tu
I
rejoins un
won't
jour?
see you, but you will see.
Non,
Oh,
c'est possible.
Harry, this is a dream. Can't you see? I'm already in Morova by now. Who knows how long ago this happened?
Il y a 1 an, 2 ans,
Yeah.
5 ans. Oh
To
putain, je te revois
right
là.
here, tomorrow night. Once this dream starts happening, I'm suffocatingly beautiful and young, and I smell of tutti frutti chewing gum. Like I did that time when I asked you for forgiveness. After leaving you the first time, so long ago.
Ça me plaît.
Oh yes, this is real darkness. It's not death or war or child molestation. Real darkness has love for a face. The first death is in the heart, Harry. See you tomorrow.
Revenons à l'enquête, s'il vous plaît. Voilà.
You're up quick. How was your sleep?
Chaîne de notre chaîne de
Okay.
He's still worried. You must have... Books and magazines, like
Pas
most,
horrible.
are soft covers, serialized fantastique, and among what is mostly commercial fiction and serialized stories, you find a magazine cathodique for electrical engineering.
Someone's made themselves a home.
Conceptualisation.
Soft covers, serialized fantastique. Not that you can tell. Maybe it's a little old-fashioned.
Plus 2 empathie.
The lieutenant puts his hand on the...
It's cold now. But
Oh,
some
les câbles.
downstairs, somewhere,
Type de
liquid
générateur.
carbon. I would imagine it takes mazout. The kind that's favored by vagrants and fuel thieves. It's been a long winter, long and cold.
If anyone stayed here,
Tapez sur
the
flanc.
hollow ring, the canister is empty.
Qu'est-ce que ça
I don't
signifie?
know. I'm not a philosopher. Someone
si.
with basic electrical skills has
The wind outside picks up suddenly, with a faint howl. Inside, it's warm. You see a small metal door.
Comment ça s'ouvre?
Maybe this is one of the doors we don't open?
He's right. It would be better to open its big brother. A powerful engine hangs under the ceiling. It must control the blast
Par exemple, devant
door.
la grande et des
I
commandes.
think there's a console just southeast. Let's look around. Getting the blast door open seems like the best plan.
S'il y a de l'autre
Another
côté.
part of the island, probably. The lock looks like it.
Green paint flecks off the monoblock aluminium cabinet. The keys rattle like teeth. This keyboard hasn't been
The console of an antique computation device. The generator upstairs, with wires coming out. Determine it here.
Ouvre la porte.
Possibly. Urgence, ouvert, allumé, radio diffusée. It sounds like this device was used to control the electronics here. Maybe it still does.
This device was used to control the electronics in the room. It could open.
We need to restore power before using this. We should look around outside. There are barrels all over. Maybe one of them still has something in it.
The boat engine.
But officer, then we would have to swim back to the main...
The console stands by, mutely. Nothing happens. The dial slides under the glass, silently. You make out defunct stations on the UK...
Insular. This is an off-air radio computer, I believe.
A strange feeling, looking at the wall with a bottle in your hand. Perhaps there's someone there. Maybe. You know it. In the still mirror of the bay, you see Martinez, islets and posts. There's a rain-soaked mattress on a concrete slab, only half covered by the crumb.
B triple prime. This looks like a good place to shoot from.
Isolé le
A
matelas.
single-person mattress, modern, civilian use. Brand name, Marjorie. There's a fuel stain and an empty can of beans on the ground next to it. The silhouette of a tobacco picker adorns the paper filter.
Le cigare que nous retrouvons au Finistère.
I may have been wrong when I said it was unimportant. This means the same person could have visited both locations. I didn't see any signs of smoking inside, though. If people live there, they keep it tidy. This here may also be a smoking spot.
There's a firing slit in the wall in front of you, like a little window.
Toucher
Quite
d'abord le béton.
old and grimy, from years without cleaning by anything other than the rain.
Il y en a à travers le trou.
The springs screech as you lean on the mattress and crane your neck to look out. Trepidation, a tingling feeling in your stomach. A small piece of Martinez coastline opens up in the square in front of you, like a tiny landscape. A towering skyscraper, its top floors shaved off by artillery fire. Capeside apartments. Rue de Saint-Gislain, 33A and 33B. The red chimney and collapsed back of the four-story tenement in front of the Whirling in Rags, Rue de Saint-Gislain, 10. The doomed commode. The box-shaped silhouette of the Whirling in Rags. Its sloped roof, a tiny fleck of light catches your eye on the rooftop, sunlight reflecting off the upstairs window of Clausia's room.
Enfoiré.
What does that mean? Do you have line of sight to the window?
Oui, il y a un angle entre les numéros 33A et je vois le
I
toit.
can see it. Through the scope of a rifle. The shooter would be prone, lying on the mattress, barrel resting on the embrasure.
Cheek against the cheek rest, hand on the hair trigger, on a calm day like this.
Le tir est faisable depuis Sikkim.
I think we have it, detective. the origin of the shot. This is the sniper's nest.
Enfin.
In our defense, nothing pointed here. Many leads pointed elsewhere.
J'ai
He
raison.
looks north. Oh, he's conflicted for a second.
Est-ce que le
Where?
tir est toujours ici? Sur cette
He
île.
does not answer. Just, he feels uncomfortable.
We should move now.
There's a rain soak.
B triple prime.
Pourquoi il y a une sauvegarde? Ça sent pas bon. Ah, Gilbert. On va encore se faire shooter.
The console is powered off and covered. This old cylindrical. The lieutenant assists you, holding the canister up to the. There's a red starter switch on the side of the cylinder and a start rope on the other side.
Intéressant
The
encore, non?
recoil start wakes the old generator up. The machine sputters.
That should do it.
A dim gold
It's on. Turn emergency on.
automatic, but the blast door opens with a series of clicks. A shaft of light appears, then widens as the light shines in. A sudden wave of anxiety.
After you.
Je sentais que
So
quelqu'un
did I.
m'observait.
Not back there, but I felt it since we came here.
Qu'est-ce qu'il y a
I don't
là-dedans?
know.
A thin wisp of smoke.
Allons-y. Let's go, moi j'y vais en courant ma gueule. Bouh. De toute façon, j'ai pas de flingue. J'ai pas de flingue et j'ai pas de... Rien. Ah, c'est sûr que je peux utiliser mes clopes, mais vas-y, une épée. Bien une épée. Ah.
An old man wearing tracksuit trousers leans on the frame stock of his rifle. He gathers a big ball of spit in his mouth, then spits it out into the extinguished fire before him. He raises his black eyes, hooded by creased eyelids, to meet unclouded by cataracts. His eyesight is sharp. He's practically tearing up from spite. Hatred got the best of him a long time ago. This man hates everything.
Ok, fermez la porte.
I did. And you opened it. How?
J'ai monté le générateur.
I should have burned that console down.
Comment vous avez su que je
The
venais?
boat engine. Underwater.
Le module est toujours intact.
My eyesight. Yes. Helps me see all the shit.
A shudder of disgust passes his right side.
Un beau fusil que
It's
vous avez là.
not nice. It's a piece of shit. But it gets the job done.
Ah belle ma
It's
grave.
a 3-Angong 446.
A Samurai rifle. How did you get hold of one?
It was sent to us by our brothers in the Signal commune. Military aid.
It has stayed true to him.
Une signal.
You heard me. It's good now. Like chalk, white from the ball.
Bonjour, je vais vous demander de baisser votre arme, nous avons des points à éclaircir, nous sommes de la
The
police.
lieutenant pulls his pistol from the holster.
You are a glorified night watchman. This is a service rifle. I can only lay it down before an enemy commander of corresponding rank.
Yell at him now. Loud.
Je suis un commandant ennemi gradé, posez votre arme. Posez votre arme.
It's a good line,
Genre.
but your voice slips on. Commander.
Oh.
Could you...
A big-time operator of the pederast army.
The lieutenant aims his pistol square.
Put it down now, sir.
Or you're gonna blow my brains out before you question me. It's out of bullets.
Like an amputated limb in the sand, his gaze follows your motions. The rifle's in a shabby state, like a crutch that's seen too much travel. On the butt, you see Vespertine writing, burnt into the wood.
Bien le modèle indiqué.
Personalized even. Looks like this weapon has seen a lot of use.
No response from the old man.
Tire des
The
balles
plastic
chemisées
Jacketed.
446.
Military grade ammunition. Stable in flight. Good for hitting something that's very, very far away.
As he speaks, he stresses every word.
Rangez
The
l'arme.
old man keeps following your motion with his gaze. His right arm twitches suddenly. This looked very much like the murder weapon. It could be used against him to get a confession.
Qui êtes-vous?
My name is Josef Lilianovich Dross, Political Commissar of the 114th Anti-Aircraft Division of the 4th Army of the Commune of Revachol. I am a deserter, a partisan, and a prisoner of war. This is my termless surrender.
The commune of Revachol? Do you mean the ICM? You're a holdover from the...
From the Insular Indian Citizens Militia, the army of the revolution. I was recruited in Jamrock in '07, trained in the École de Contrôle Orient, and consigned to emergency defense duties in '08. I left my unit on the eve of the landing. When I returned here on May 14th, the commune had fallen. Still armed and ideologically trained, I wrote a criticism of myself and resumed partisan duties.
Et combien de temps est-ce que vous êtes sur l'île?
43 years. No. I've been on other islands too. I was an resurrection until they turned it into a spa in 18. Then I was an E-48, a nameless sound, until the sea washed over it. Then I came back here.
Vous êtes caché pendant 43 ans.
43 years and 10 months.
Tant que ma vie.
Too long. It's not how a human being should live. But I couldn't just forget what I saw.
What have you been doing during all this time?
Hiding, fishing, waiting.
Where the afternoon grows late, on Rue de Saint-Ghislain, people walk home. Street lights will soon be lit. Further inland, the streets are alive with workers, men, women, children, street hawks and migrant laborers. The temperature is steady. Alto cumulus. 2 police officers step out of the Whirling in Rags cafeteria. Satellite officer Jean-Vic Mayer inspects a series of burnt black letters splashed across the plaza mosaic. Patrol officer Judith Minot points west. The fishing village. She glances at her watch. We meet in 15. The officers go, leaving behind the writing, still smoldering.
Always waiting.
Qu'est-ce que vous attendiez?
For her to return.
Her who?
Girl, child, revolution. It won't. The material base for an uprising has eroded. The working class has betrayed mankind and themselves. The historic opportunity for a revolution has passed. It will not come back anymore, however hard I try, whatever I do.
What has he done? Perhaps a confession.
Qu'est-ce que vous avez fait au juste?
Yes, what? To get things going again? Fan the flame?
There is no flame to fan. There is nothing left.
C'est quoi cet endroit style?
It's not an island, Dwight. It's a defensive fortification of the commune of Revachol.
Peut-être sa
The
fonction?
congenitally deformed King Philip II built it to restrict access to the Bay of Revachol. We captured it in '02, retrofitted the fort with an AA gun to defend against an airborne landing.
Voilà du débarquement de la
The
reconquête de
Git
Revachol.
coalition military called it Operation Deathblow. I later found out on the Deathblow. You're one of them. Tell me, who speaks like that? We had 50 million people on Caillou alone.
Je fais pas partie de cette
Sure
engeance.
you are. You're RCM. Answer me. Who calls an operation against 50 million people Deathblow?
Bande d'assassins.
You don't know. You haven't seen it. Iblis,
Iblis?
the black-eyed angel.
Capituler sans
You're
condition.
with the RCM, the coalition-appointed mob that enforces bourgeois morals in Revachol.
Dans le camp des gentils.
Murderers. You're the RCM. You represent the Moralist International. The enemies of humanity who took this city. I represent their adversary, le Parti Communiste Insolente. Take me to them as a prisoner of war. I have relinquished my weapon. I can no longer serve. No superiors can relieve me of my duty. You bulldoze them all to a mass grave for trying to free humanity.
A spray of blood from his mouth on the black charcoal in the...
Bref.
There's nothing serious.
Vous êtes servi de cette âme pour quelle
I've
occasion?
used it for killing people.
Here we go. A trail of blood. The lieutenant smells it too.
Killing people?
It's a gun. That's what they're for. You want a moralist euphemism? Defending your family and your property. I've used it to kill people.
Interesting. During or after the war?
There is no after the war. Class war is never over.
So he's continued killing after hostilities. Go in straight. No euphemisms. No. Be careful now. Slow and steady does it. Make him... Don't mess this up. Remember, he wants to tell you. Get personal.
Vous venez de me dire que vous avez tué des gens quand les combats ont pris fin.
What did I just say?
What did I just tell you? Don't drop the ball now.
Vous avez tué.
I don't want to tell you anything, you grotesque murderer.
And why did you think that was a good idea?
C'est pour te battre un
Don't
Cohen de
listen.
l'entreprise de sécurité de Cana.
Who now?
Cadavre vêtu d'une armure en céramique suspendue derrière. Vous avez tiré
Oh
dessus?
yes, that one. Ugly piece of work.
Did you kill him?
I am a son of a welder and an officer of the commune of Revachol. I do not collaborate with murderers and pederasts of the liberal regime.
Exhaust him with proof. Pile it all on him. The gun. The scent of blood in the air. But what else? There was something you can't remember.
Nous sommes une navette balistique, le tir provient de cette
I
île.
saw you poking around there, looking for evidence. You're damn diligent when it comes to dead fascies. Did you like the view?
You had direct visibility. There are embrasures in the concrete, specifically meant for a top follower to use. And you had a long-range rifle in your possession. You have been here a long time, Mr. Dross. Too long. You need medical aid.
I'm ready to die. I've done my part.
Je ne pas de vue plus dégagée sur cette fenêtre dans tout Martinez.
Because it's a sniper's nest, you stupid fuck. Radio Gosh is right. You have worms in your brain.
Almost. He almost burst out there. Keep piling arguments. Wait, here it comes. The goddamn Maybells. The dried Maybells on Clausia's roof. There were Maybells in the grass when you got here, and Maybells on Clausia's balcony. Wait, don't forget the footprints. The diagonal prints in the dust in the secret space behind Clausia's bedroom. Now they're gonna come up. You got it. Remember? The boot prints were like no modern soul. Maybe don't beat yourself anymore, though. You're not immortal.
Robot, vous peignez de quelle marque il s'agit?
Everything is brands with you individualists. Who cares what brand my shoes are? Sansa.
Show me the soles, please, Mr.
Fucking imbecile.
The maker is called Sensory. You see their V-shaped logo, but can't make out. These are not the unusual horizontal patterned soles you saw in the dust on the floor of the hidden room. They do, however, seem to...
The size fits, but not the sole.
Art dramatique. Seconde, il y a peut-être une explication toute simple.
Sire, he doesn't have to be wearing them right now.
Si on change de chaussure, ça veut pas dire que vous n'étiez pas sur les lieux à fureter à proximité de la chambre de la victime.
Racking those brains, are you? Desperate to report something back to your masters? They must have really loved that dead fuck.
The lieutenant gives you a quick sideways glance and nods to acknowledge. The prints were his. You can see it in those eyes. He can't keep them from flickering, looking for something. The old man stares at his own prints in the ash around the fire. Silent suddenly, some strange process within him. More. He's gonna crack. But you need a little more.
J'ai mis du muguet devant la fenêtre de la victime, c'est ici qu'il pousse.
Damn Maybells. The whole island is turning white with them.
He seems tender suddenly, nostalgic even. A strange mood swing.
So many this year too. The spring is coming. No, it's already here. Wash the filth away.
Une femme du nom classée, ça vous dit quelque chose? Il y avait des fleurs. Il y avait des fleurs comme ça devant sa fenêtre.
Classée.
Vous la connaissez, n'est-ce pas? Ils étaient très intimes avec Tim et elle, le mercenaire.
With the victim.
Don't leave any loose ends. Get him on everything.
Porte que vous gamin, j'ai ceci.
Not a lot of guns around that use military-grade ammunition, are there?
It's a real gun. Not like your musketeer pistols. You look like imbeciles. Why don't you ask them to give you real weapons? Going against automatic rifles with these toy guns. Of course you got those boys killed.
Damn, he saw you. He's watched it happen. So he saw you. Okay. So what? Don't let it divert you.
Peut-être changer. Nous avons l'arme du
You know
crime.
what? You're right. I'm convinced this made the shot. Should we call it?
Vous pensez que c'est l'arme du crime?
4.46 jacketed ammunition, modified for range. We have it. This is it.
L'affaire, nous avons l'arme du crime.
This feels good, doesn't it? Tearing things up like this, when you have the murder weapon. You have...
Murder. You know who he was. A coalition-trained murderer. Armored and armed. He wasn't human. The blunt end of a hammer, dripping
C'est un
with
tueur, mais il
blood,
faut respecter la loi.
beating us to the ground, moaning with joy. You hounds get so thorough.
Donc en
when
fait,
a
c'est juste une
company
revanche
trained
d'un
killer
mec
dies.
aléatoire comme
I
ça.
haven't seen you on this coast for 40 years. You know, maybe I should have killed one sooner. Got your attention. Now you stop beating druggies and prostitutes in your basement. Now you come to investigate. Not when they die by the hundreds.
Vous l'avez tué?
Oh, the inhumanity. One paramilitary less in Revershop.
The lieutenant raises his right arm to hush you. Hush. He does not need to be pushed anymore. The ball is rolling.
I had them in my sights. Both of them. Him and the whore. I was breathing with them, in phase, and I pulled the trigger and flew on the air until I landed in his mouth. I didn't think I had a shot like that in me anymore. I did. I saw him kneel there with his mouth full of death, and that stupid look on his face. And his dick still in her.
Ensuite?
Nothing. I went to sleep. Next morning there were Maybells everywhere. The world was white, or what's left of it anyway. My last spring here. I knew the fascists would come to avenge their own. And so they did.
Mr. Dross, are you aware you're confessing to murder?
Yes.
And you were looking at Dan, the victim and a young woman, having sex, through the scope of your rifle that night, before you shot him?
The old man nods.
Why?
Because that's what they were doing.
The motive. This is where the motive is going to come. You can coax it out of him. The lieutenant's...
I don't understand. Do you, detective? I don't understand this part.
Et vous les observez la nuit.
I'm always looking.
Are you always looking through the scope of a rifle? I'm just...
A rifle scope has the best magnification.
helps him see all the shit.
And if you don't like it,
Click.
Et si c'est de la
then
merde?
you pull the trigger.
Yes. Think of it as a form of critique.
Start with when he first saw him. It will give him a chance to ramble.
Qu'est-ce que vous avez vu le défunt pour la première fois?
3 weeks ago, when the rich hag came in on her galley, her honor guard came in tow. Wrinkled up whore.
Pourquoi c'est fixé sur les putes? Il est pédéraste. Je croyais que vous étiez communiste.
Black sexual morals are a bourgeois ploy. As to pederasty, the party legalized it in '04. My party, not your liberal masters. So don't you sermonize me, you racist shithole. It's still bourgeois when the bourgeois does it, fiddling with their sexual organs.
Some strange glandular process takes place in him at the thought, like yeast rising. And anger too, in addition to loneliness.
Oh non, mouton. Donc la victime arrive peu de temps après.
They moved into a deserted apartment above the roundabout. Radio equipment out for all to see. Reactionary radio playing, sloppy and drunk. I've seen their kind during the landing. Those Occidental and Mesk phalangs weren't conscripts. Boys like us. They were whites. All they know is to destroy. Hurting the strike breakers like that. I kept an eye on them.
Qu'est-ce que vous avez particulièrement déplu la nuit du meurtre?
Them. Fucking. I didn't like that.
La jalousie?
Jealousy is a reactionary concept. I didn't like the Reaver enjoying himself. Drugged out. soothed in the arms of a young woman. I wanted him to die so he could not enjoy life anymore. And I wanted to see his head explode. That too. She should know better than to hold a child murderer between her thighs. I knew he'd be there for one more second, writhing. That's all it takes for the bullet to reach his head. Now that I think of it, I wasn't aiming for his mouth. I wanted his brains to spill out on her. But you can't have everything.
This man has seen past her, like you, and now he longs to see her covered in, to punish her.
Vous savez depuis combien de temps?
Since she came to Martinez, I saw her sneaking in the reeds early in the morning, behind the Fell building. It was dark, still winter. She didn't have her skimpy outfit on then, just a spot in the night, moving.
Past the Fell building on the coast? What was she doing there?
Hiding something in the water. She had a fag after she'd done it. I was up in the ruins there. She couldn't see me, but I could see her, smoking. She was nervous, but not scared.
And beautiful.
Elle était magnifique.
That, too.
How could you see what she looked like? You said it was dark.
The sun came up. Her hair was like cobwebs. She smoked more fags and snorted a line of whatever shit she was on.
D'après vous,
Right
qu'est-ce qu'il essaie de cacher?
her passport and tickets to Villiers. And from there to Cachet-Brut.
La bouée cachée dont on nous a parlé, vous y avez jeté un œil.
After she was gone.
Did you keep what was in it? When we found the submersible, it was empty.
No. Why would I do that? I didn't need tickets to Villiers. I'd put them back. If I wanted to extort someone, I'd do better.
On a examiné la boîte, mais elle était vide.
Why would I need that trash? I'm not going to Villiers.
Ok.
I did. She had a face like an archipelago, with those birthmarks, and a body hard and lean and bruised all over, black and yellow. I could see she's taken a beating. I could see who she was, too. A spook, on the run. Revachol's the cloaca of capital now. All the bagmen and arms dealers end up here to do drugs and have sex like animals.
You could tell she was a spook? From the documents?
She had different color hair on the photo, and glasses. Forged. Some sordid bourgeois affair.
Ouais, vous faites
I've
pour
heard about this
voir
kind
tout
of
ça, les
thing
bleus,
on-
les coups.
I'm not blind, am I?
Activité, parce qu'est-ce qu'il connaît tous ces détails sur son corps? Bon, on sait, hein.
It quickly comes to you.
Ah. Les hématomes, vous ne les aurez pas vus à travers un trou dans le mur?
Oh, yes. Cutting those drugs of hers into little lines with a knife. Masturbating.
Everything in him fills with impossible longing, all at once.
Did you make that hole?
With a clip point knife.
Et jamais vu à travers la fenêtre sur un toit?
Like that, too. Yes. Bending like a bow against the glass.
Empruntez le passage secret derrière le Whirling Rise, vous y avez laissé vos empreintes avoir changé de chaussures.
I've been through all of Martinez. Every nook and cranny.
Celui-là aussi, donc.
Yes, that too. The things they did in that little room. What she'd do to feel good. Funny the way light works. You turn it on inside, and it gets so dark out, you can't see a man looking in. I learned that in the 20s, when they were still hunting me. I've seen people do some shit, but...
You hear the familiar scribble of the lieutenant's pen. One more loose end down. We're doing this, detective.
How did you get in there? The hidden pinball workshop.
I can just walk in the hostel now after a good wash. They all think I'm an antisocial, a vagrant. closing hour is a good time. The kitchen's empty then.
You had to open the steel door in the kitchen? How?
I got that open a long time ago. Some bourgeois game merchant lived there. I don't know, 15 years ago. He left spare keys all over, and I took one. Then I saw her turn the light on one night in my scope.
Andy found use for it. A spare key, like the one hanging behind the Union Box window.
Il éprouvait des sentiments pour cette femme.
There's nothing to hold on to.
The coals of his eyes glistened suddenly, like stones.
Man needs to feel something else. In this fight, it helps if you have your eye on something there.
Vous
His
avez les
weakness,
fleurs séchées devant sa fenêtre.
No,
Voilà.
I don't really know. I was there one night and she was crying, like a child, in the corner of her room on the floor. Like she...
Quand?
The day after I killed him.
Il avait apporté du muguet.
Yes. I don't know why I do the things I do.
Il l'a consolé.
Maybe. I have these holes in my brain now. I wouldn't just sit here waiting for you.
A sudden pang of...
If you came 10 years ago, I would have killed you.
In the silence, the lieutenant draws a line in his notes, then nods at you. One more down.
Il avait tué son amant pour la punir.
She practically breastfed that man. You wouldn't believe the things she let him do to her.
You stare at them too. In your mind, her innocence day still turns to leaf. See you tomorrow, Harry. Her voice rings in the evening air, burning.
Quelque chose différemment.
No one gives a shit what you think. You and your cronies killed
Vous n'en
10
aviez pas
working
après lui, mais
class
après elle.
her.
The lieutenant nods at you in acknowledgement. That's it. Motive.
Where is she, that classée? I haven't seen her there for days.
Elle s'enfuit, mais elle nous a conduits ici. Elle a découvert quelqu'un les pieds de plus fort.
Gone. I knew it. She kept staring into the scope this last week at the island, like she knew. She'd look at night, crying or smoking on the roof, staring right into me. It doesn't matter.
Midtown, across the Bay of Revachol, the oceanic wind washes 40-story towers. Above them, Lausanne's central aerodrome, a cocoon suspended in the sky by a web of suspension wiring, encircled by hybrid aircraft. On the platform, a young woman is withdrawing from amphetamines, barbiturates, and alcohol. Yet still, she smiles. Across the water, on a dilapidated jetty in a nameless village, made of grey cinder block houses with Eternite roofs. 2 police officers and 1 special consultant. He's there, doing what exactly, I don't know. Satellite Officer Vic Mayer points at the ruins. Behind that anti-aircraft something. That's why we can't see him. Special Consultant Heidelstein is optimistic. We'll see the boat when he comes. Let's go get a coffee until then. I know this interesting little place. As the men go, Patrol Officer Minnow looks back. Oh, good luck, Harry, she thinks.
We could get more. We've got him talking.
You could get more out of him. Enough. Take him in. Bend his arms behind his back and...
Quelque chose qui vous a déplu?
Comedy. Druggies.
Faut être plus précis.
Specifically, the whole city is a charnel house. Stripped clean and draped in neon. But Martinez,
Comment ça?
because of the racists. Everyone is a racist in Martinez. It's their favorite thing to do in the whole world. Listening to race-themed radio show. Pump full of steroids and Radio Revachol 92. Race this, race that. It's all sanctioned by that Social Democratic Union and the farce of a Social Democrat who runs it. Yes, the fly larva in his container. He let some nihilistic advertising yuppies erect a statue of Philippe III, a syphilitic murderer, on the town square, to spit on the working class.
Autre chose?
Not since the serfs of ancient Pericarnassus has history produced a more inert social class than the Martinez proletariat. The rest of Revachol at least pretends to rebuild. These people still live in ruins. Intense, like animals, like those boom morons on the ice. A pity they didn't drown in that tent of theirs.
C'est tout.
The worst of them is the blood-drenched Sucrion on her yacht, licking her lips. The old whore's gone now. Her gun-toting porcelain men are dead. So, actually, no. The worst is that old cock parading around in his uniform, throwing balls all day. It's not enough that the racists and liberals are dancing on our graves. The old loyalist ghouls still parade the ruins too. Every morning he's there, while the parasites he fought to protect are off in Ozon, or Coyamorang, or some other island they built their palaces on, feeding on drugs and having sex with their own children. That's all the rich really want. Sex with their own children. Throughout history, even the royal bloodline of the suzerain, it's all just an excuse for them to have sordid sex. At least that up. We did good when we pushed him under the horse car. Until, in the 30s, those disco whores.
The disco whores are too much. Hatred shuts down his... What was that about? Steroids? It piqued your interest.
Yes, steroids. A racist on steroids. What is my opinion? No. The rich man's looking at real estate and fiddling his kids. Wading through... Old? And you're obsessed with your... And he left you here.
Oh, j'en ai marre, j'ai vu le coffret là.
Swollen face. Glad. It's all gone.
Józef Lilianovitch Droz, vous êtes en état d'arrestation pour le maître de colonel Créla Martinez.
What? But you said I would be taken to the...
The wind picks up. The silence on the water is broken all around you. Little shivers of waves appear.
Your wayfarer rights have been suspended. Information provided to the officers on the scene will be used against you by the prosecution. You will be given legal counsel within 1 week and must face court in 44 days. Do you understand? Do you understand?
But...
Comprenez, monsieur?
No, I don't want to. I have to stay here.
He's sweating. Beads are forming. Pupils are dilated too.
Your confirmation is not required, sir. Now on to the boat.
Je vais faire une crise cardiaque. Tentez, hein.
There
Let's
it is
go.
again, to your north, as it has been since you came to the coast.
Quoi?
Something completely different. It sounds like a bow, very slowly being drawn against the strings of a violin. A very small violin, made of reeds and rushes.
Maybe there is room for 3 on the boat.
Chut, qui... Alors.
What?
What are you talking about? Is this... really us?
Your skin crawls.
Ah ouais, le face midé, je sais pas quoi là.
A delicate tangle of arms and legs unfolds from the reeds. Limb,
Il met
it's
des yeux.
still there. An
C'est quoi
What
ça?
are you talking about?
Phasme
There's
géant.
nothing there.
The stick insect is over 3 meters tall. It looks straight at you with its tiny pinprick eyes and its grotesquely small head. You feel your legs shaking under you and your gun hand move to your holster. But you
Et je le
don't.
vois.
Tell me what you see, damn it.
Quand vous le
I
voyez.
can see it.
4 simple words. Thank God. If you can see, then you're. But that means it's really there, spinning slowly, in absolute silence.
Be very, very careful.
The creature stands. The segmented antennae move. Take long, deep breaths. Slow down your pulse. Don't move yet. And when you do, reed-like tufts stick out of its joints. As the insect moves its forearms, it produces a faint hiss, like a reel-to-reel machine spinning after the tape breaks. The hiss is different from the strings you heard before. It says something else in a lower pitch. Slowly, with your breath held, you take 2 small steps toward the phasmid. The creature lets out a series of like laughter, a sort of happiness. Sweat drips from your brow, soaking your chest. Hissing and clicking, it extends its mandible-like antennae to greet you. You're right below it now, looking up at the colossal chitin. The insect stops its stridulation.
Tes possibles intéressent. Hein.
No. Stop. Be afraid. As you do, the invertebrate comes to life, shifting around in the reeds around. No reply. A total ancient sight. You were right. Little bubbles form on the mouth parts of the... The invertebrate stops, raising its scythe-like arms and tilting its tiny...
I exist.
Moi aussi j'existe.
Tell me what it's like for you.
Une brûlure.
Fire? Where? I
Tout se
am
fait.
oblivious to the city. It is only on my marches. Above now, I will tell you what it's like for me. For me, it is a series of half-lit images.
Qu'est-ce qui se passe?
No, you are awake. I am real.
Qui es-tu?
I am an unknown species of the order Phantasmadia, endemic to the Insulandian Insula. For the last 350 years, I have hidden in plain sight, masquerading as the reeds, molding, cloning myself.
It may have unknown, dangerous biochemical...
And went unnoticed by the first settlers and the land surveyors of the suzerain. Also, by the soldiers of the revolution and the officials. I have stayed hidden through 4 forms of government and 2 scientific revolutions until I was accidentally discovered.
C'est fou.
No, you are. The moral of our encounter is I am a relatively medium life form, while it is you who are a total extreme man. The pale too came with you. No one remembers it before. It is a nervous shadow cast into the world by you, eating away at reality. A great, unnatural territory.
J'ai pas ce genre de pouvoir. Non.
You're a violent and irrepressible miracle. The vacuum of cosmos and the stars burning in it are afraid of you.
Comment?
We suspect it will be something like the oxygen.
Pas le savoir.
Also, very, very dangerous.
It doesn't look like that, no. You're just staring at it. Okay. Is it somehow related to the case? I think we should take the picture, and then you should back away from the unstudied species.
No, there is one more. Thank you. I also have one more thing to say to you. That woman, turn from the ruin. Turn and go forward.
She was middle class. It doesn't take a 3-meter stick insect to tell you
Je
that.
vais faire ça. Kim.
There is no change in the insect's motion while it's being aimed by the...
In 3. If it moves, you jump back. I'll shoot. Here we go.
The shrill flash of the camera cuts the air like the blade of a sword. The phasmid freezes in its bright light. Head turned toward the lieutenant. Hypnotized.
I got it.
For all time. The antennae hang from a great height. With your hand shaking, you barely touch the tip of the left whisker. The sensation is electrifying. It is surprisingly delicate. The curly end of the whisker, like a young vine, looks like someone's got hurt in a fight.
Be careful, detective. It's moving.
You were right. It glistens with some kind of moisture. The creature in front of you stays the limb before you is incredibly light, like eggshell. A small shudder passes the creature's arm. Another shudder passes through the creature's limbs. As you're turning away, the phasmid mirrors your movements, stepping on the water, the long limbs carrying its feather weight without breaking its surface. And just like and something under it, in the place it stood.
It's gone. Looks like a nest of some sort.
What now?
In some kind of strange...
Our suspect is not looking so good. We need to check on him.
What is it? What do you want from me? See.
Mr. Dross?
The man does not respond. He keeps staring, black with fear and longing, like an addict of some terrible substance. A light shiver passes him. Follow.
He's going into some kind of psychomotor immobility.
The trembling mouth.
Between this and the broken tire he's used for a boat, I think it's safe to leave him here, while we go and get help. It will need to be medical first, I'm afraid.
He stares into the reeds. Nothing. The last embers of...
If Kuno kicked it into...
No reaction. His breathing is...
Let's have a closer look at that after.
I lost.
He turns his eyes to the reeds again, as he's done so many times.
He lost the scope. Then it somehow made its way over there, with the help of a magpie phasmid. This sight is a T9, Mr. Dross. Was it attached to the rifle when you made the shot?
Silence. You've gotten all you will. The plastic cape flaps around his face. In a gust of wind, the blacks of his eyes are receding. The strength has all gone out of him.
We should think about getting back to the mainland. To get help. He'll be safe here, if we don't take...
The dry grass crackles under your feet as the flock of quail on the is the great ghost of the air. The skiff is swaying on the water.
Let's. We are done here.
The skiff rocked, but for the sound of conversation, two men and a woman stand on the concrete square of an... You reach the jetty and climb out of the skiff.
Look what the tide brought in. What is that? Full AC? What's with all the performance gear? Are you back in high school? We're not forgetting about anything. Look at you. Bothered by it.
Pas
Harry,
de déranger les
you're a
autres.
goddamn cop. They're afraid of you.
Je suis un putain de
Actually,
flic.
are you? Are you still a cop? There's so much disco going on, it's hard to tell.
Vic, calm down.
Hello, I'm Trent Heilerstam. I believe we've met on several occasions.
I'm your goddamn partner, Jean-Vic Quemar, and this is your special task force. Or what's left of it. Special Consultant Trent Heilerstam, Patrol Officer Judith Minot.
Hi.
We've come to scrape what's left of you after pavement.
Lieutenant Kim Kisuragi, Prison 57. We've just come from the island, where our investigation... We might need your help with something later.
As if he recalled that he's in fact a decorated police lieutenant.
But this is clearly a departmental matter, so I'm going to leave you to discuss it among yourselves.
Comme je t'ai
It's good to
toujours
meet you, Lieutenant Kitsuhagi.
ce bordel.
Harry, we want to help you. Trent, I believe this is where you come in?
This is the horse-faced woman. I don't know why you named her that, but it was beyond idiot.
I don't quite know what I'm doing here. I was asked to participate as an expert. I think I need my background is in something else entirely. I engage in neurology.
No, Trent, it's too late. You're part of this shit now. What have you got to say for yourself, shit kid?
What does he have to say for himself? He left you to catch the bullets.
Tu sais où tout ce temps j'ai resté au
God
tribunal des
damn
mercenaires.
it, Harry. You told us to fuck off. You said we're cramping your style. Your detective god. Fuck everything. All we burn. Detect or die.
Donc, vous m'avez laissé affronter une escouade de tueurs entraînés juste pour me donner une
It
leçon.
wasn't like that.
Fuck you, Harry. We didn't know there was gonna be a tribunal, did we?
Vous avez pas fait ça alors en
Oh,
piteux
you
crevé.
think it was cool you saying that? Aesthetic somehow? You were crying when we got here, breaking things. You said we were going to... None of us wanted to see the abyss. So we fucked off. Like you told us to,
Bernet.
duped. Hey, here's a brilliant idea. Don't be a morbid drunk and you won't be duped so easily.
La jardinière, le chef, ça... Au moment que vous êtes bien qui vous
Yes,
attendez être.
I'm still Kim Kisuragi, still a lieutenant from prison.
Still caught up in this crossfire, too.
Guilty as charged. I heard you'd lost your mind and your memory. I wanted to see if it was true. And it was. Good work, Harry. You're insane now. There's one less person for me and everyone else to rely on. I didn't lie to you. No one lies to you. You were so fucked up on booze you couldn't recognize your own partner.
Je parle d'un groupe tactique.
Yeah, Major Crimes Unit, under Lieutenant Dubois and Vicomar. Ring any bells?
L'autre t'appartient à cette unité.
Refresh your memory? It's a goddamn Major Crimes Unit. There's you, me, Jude, Tron fucking Heidelstown, and Guillaume Baby.
I'm technically just a civilian.
Oh, fuck you. You're part of this shit show.
Guillaume
Oh,
Baby.
that's an interesting story, actually. Guillaume Baby is a police reporter who joined our team. He was really good. Then he left. Other people have left too. Good, smart people. People we won't get back. Only me and this
Yeah,
really
parce que c'est
patient
unité.
do. It's a Major Crimes Unit. We cleared the desk of cases so Precinct 41 doesn't look like the worst station in town. We are shit tier now.
They're your posse, or what remains of it.
The 41st isn't...
Pareil.
The bells aren't ringing because you have brain damage. Trant, this is where you come in. How bad is it?
Well, he doesn't have visible tremors, he talks without slurring, he can drive a boat, he's standing, reasoning. All good signs, but complete retrograde amnesia, episodic and... As displayed in the station call, our interactions with him, and I don't want to be a snitch, but also mine with him before when Harry did not seem to know who I was. It's all very interesting. Yes, interesting. I have my theories, but I would like to hear Harry's thoughts first. Harry, what do you think happened to you? Neurologically, psychologically, and why not
Il m'est arrivé quelque chose de si triste que je pouvais plus être moi-même, c'est un mécanisme de défense.
Psychotraumatic amnesia, Trant? I can go for that. Shit kid is a broken man. Always has been. Who isn't? I know I keep my shit together. Also, I know a person can't wipe their own mind, however traumatic it gets. That doesn't happen. You're lying, or insane, or both.
But Detective Vigmer, he has blanked out before. Yes, a couple of times. After some of the more serious benders. What?
The 2 cases in your ledger. The unsolved, those cases were hard on you.
Interesting. So at first he dipped his toes into it, prepared. That's where he would have gotten the idea.
What do you mean?
Well, here's my theory. What if this is an absolutely normal reaction to the world we're living in? What if this is not a significant anomaly at all? Something to be... Look at the ruins, the neon, listen to the radio, the multitudes, the people. Live here for 40 years. As a police detective, he's like a magnetic reader on the world tape, to borrow a known metaphor. Hardwired to the free market.
Bah bon bref, c'est long, je m'en fous de tout ça.
That's absolutely meaningless. I'm glad we brought you.
He's not a creature, and he is able to do work. If not in his previous leadership role.
Leadership, now.
Pas reprendre mon poste de chef.
No one even mentioned that. I misphrased my question. It should have been, is he able to put his clothes on?
They can keep that pension.
Je fais quoi maintenant?
Now nothing. Now we're just going to stand here.
Vraiment?
No. Now we discuss that. What the fuck did you do to a motor carriage? Why is it there, Harry?
Pas du tout dans l'ancien quand j'étais ivre.
So refreshing. He just admits it. Thank you for your honesty. Thank you for destroying 45,000 real of police property that's coming. It doesn't matter. Your badge, Harry. Show me your badge.
In a rush to demonstrate your badge, your eager fingers can't sustain a grip on the smooth plastic, and the badge slips out. Not today, badge.
C'est mon insigne.
And your gun? Yeah, I checked the local pawn shop. You saw the pawnbroker. It worked too, didn't it? You're drunk right now, aren't you? You fucking bum. I can smell it all the way over here.
Oh, je suis pas sous.
So you forgot to drink? I don't buy it.
He's wounded. It's been a long week, and he's handled an actual corpse.
J'ai dû m'appuyer
I
un
don't
cadavre.
believe you. You're drunk. You let a suspect escape, a certain classée, because you were too drunk to assess a flight risk.
We've read the reports, Harry. Lieutenant Kitsuhagi's. We know.
Elle m'entraînait.
Ah, well, if she was specially trained, I'm not even gonna get into the other suspect, the one who shot herself in the head. Or the fact that you're Everclear's little peony now, doing I don't know what for him. That's small times compared to the 8 people who were gunned down. That's true.
He did everything he could. We did everything we could. The company hired and vetted mercenaries. Lieutenant Dubois got between them and the locals.
Here comes the cavalry.
He did so at considerable risk to his own life. He was shot, not once, but twice. We stopped an execution, not a negotiation. The loss of life was minimal compared to what it could have been.
J'ai résolu l'enquête.
It's better if I do that.
Thank you for the input, Lieutenant Kitsuragi. I didn't mean to suggest you didn't handle the situation.
He thinks of apologizing, but decides against it.
You've spent the week with him on this case. What is your take?
On the case?
On Lieutenant Geoffrey Dubois.
Well, the drinking, the gun losing, also losing the badge. That's all true. Although he has not been drinking on the job this week.
See?
1 week.
Then there's the superstardom. He likes to, from time to time, allude to being a superstar law official. At first I thought it was a joke, but now I'm not so sure. He says disco about 20 times a day. It's worrying, especially considering his political views. Detective Dubois is, as you may know, a Mazovian socio-economist. He wants to liquidate the ruling class, which, again, for a police officer, is a little. And then there's the motor carriage in the sea, and the drugs, of course. Some kind of anti-radiation drug he uses to induce visions. But despite all this, he is a great detective, one of the best I have seen, in fact. He can talk human beings into telling him anything, and he doesn't stop. In all the time I've spent with him, he has not once stopped working on the case. He is tireless, and he solved it, near perfectly. In 1 week we have a confession, a murder weapon, and the perpetrator. Locked on the island right now, awaiting transportation. He apprehended a straggler who stayed hidden for 50 years, ever since the revolution, who's probably committed other murders over those years. Oh, and he also discovered a new species.
A new species?
A colossal stick insect. It was on the island, camouflaged as the reeds. It unfolded from the reeds.
He takes out the photo of the phasmid and shows it to the officers. You hear gasps beneath the howl.
As you can see, it's about 3 meters tall. In fact, we think it may be the largest land invertebrate ever discovered.
Fucking hell is that? Is this somehow connected to...
The killer did not seem to be aware of the phasmid's presence, exhibiting a strange, atypical dementia. He fell into a stupor after its appearance. He became near catatonic.
So it is connected.
I must say, this is absolutely extraordinary. I don't even have words for it.
Yes, it really does make it hard to fire the drunk.
This is a very, very sad man who has just seen something that's made him forget his sadness. Now you make your case. Now is the time. Now or never.
Il y a aussi un homme mort sur la promenade, une personne disparue que j'ai retrouvée.
Yes. Fallen through a gap in a boardwalk. Drunk.
The body was transported to Precinct 41, our morgue.
You're not the only cop in the world, Harry.
Still, good work with the missing person.
It's still a point for you. No denying it.
J'ai enquêté.
I don't know what a doomed commercial area is. Why?
There was a possible witness in there, and it was close to the crime scene. He was just chasing a lead and ended up advising.
Of course. Call it community outreach, right?
Découvert la mobile du meurtrier.
Lilianovich. A revolutionary matronym. The custom started in Grad, where they have patronyms. Prasovich, Lasovich, etc. The revolutionaries saw this as a chauvinist atavism. This man's mother was Lilian. His Lilian's son, Lilianovich. The custom was overturned after the revolution.
So, it is what a soldier of the ICM would be called.
Thank you, Trant. Thank you for that piece of cultural theory. You said you have a motive?
Of course, excuse me, I just thought it was noteworthy.
Dans un acte de jalousie.
Jalousie. I thought this Lilianovich was an old man. To have been...
A strange psychosexual fascination. The result of spending all this time in solitude on the islands of this bay. And trauma too. He himself gave a political reason. In his mind, he had killed an enemy combatant. Also, We have a sniper's nest with full view of the room in which the mercenary died, right on the island, and 2 officers on the scene that Mr. Dross confessed to.
It's a clean win.
It's way more than that.
I've never doubted you can pull yourself together and work. In bouts. Bouts don't last. I can still smell the booze on the wind.
God damn it. Doesn't it ever leave? It will pass. In
Je vais
time.
faire une idée d'une femelle.
You had to see it. It had the subdued colors of a female.
Incredible. Were there...
Not as far as I could see. There were other things there.
Actually, you know, this would indicate it was a male. This is far from anything in my field, but I think such nests are called bowers. They are for attracting mates. Of course, as I said, I'm only guessing.
It could maybe roll it.
Oui, ça produit par tonneuse.
As in cloning itself? What makes you think so?
L'observation.
Well, then it wouldn't matter if it's a male or female. The bower would just be rudimentary. Very interesting.
Donc là, la créature avait des mandibules qui ressemblaient à des poils et était complètement blanche de l'intérieur.
Yes, but also reed-colored, beige and brown, a little green on the outside. After unfolding from a single stalk, it still retained parts.
Incredible. The PR value of this is exceptional. Carp discovers new species. Maybe even...
This would really help with some of the,
Absolutely, this is great. This does not say vigilante murderers to me at all. This says science, news, human interest.
Without it,
You're doing good here. Quit while you're ahead? Or no?
I don't want to, but you discovered a new species and solved the murder.
Alors prendre le cador ou pas?
So I have to. Jude,
anything that ends the trial is okay with me.
You haven't been drinking, she thinks. So maybe this time.
Agreed. The public relations potential of this is too valuable to let go.
okay. We have vehicles in the square, and the perpetrator needs to be taken into custody. Let's go.
Now you will finally get to know who you are.
On va savoir qui je
The man
suis.
looks westward, jingling his car keys in his pocket.
Pourquoi je suis comme ça?
It's not a mystery. Some chick fucked you over. Also, you were drunk.
You really went with it too.
Il s'appelait Dora.
Yeah. Dora Engelund, I think.
Not Dora Dubois.
Something like that. Half was.
T'es même pas marié.
No one is married anymore.
C'était quand?
God, I don't know. 6 years ago, she was way before my time.
6 years and you haven't gotten over it. What the hell is wrong with you?
No, it was 6. Like, ancient. Incredibly bangable.
Qu'elle a fait?
She was incredibly fuckable. A beautiful bourgeois woman. Wayfish. Like a...
Heartbreak, well, pain, well...
I've only seen a picture. But it's obvious you formed a real spiritual connection.
Look, the sun is about to go down.
I think she taught in the Académie des Arts, east of the river. Way east. Hard to say. My point is, you need to see a psychiatrist about this shit. Not a psychologist. Who is Lena?
Une cryptozoologue.
Well, good luck finding...
She and her husband were conducting the search for the... They should know as soon as possible.
She is going to be... Watch out, or she'll faint.
Qu'est-ce que je vais faire maintenant?
First, I will go back to my station and write the most detailed report anyone has ever seen. Detective, we just stopped a small-scale war. Something is happening to Revachol. I don't know what yet, but it's going to be a hard spring for the RCM. We need to get ready, infiltrate, talk to Captain Price. I'd rather not ruffle the feathers of 2 captains.
Travailler au poste 41.
Work with Price? I'm flattered, but I don't know if I...
Would fit in. I'm crazy enough. Can take the...
Flattered? You're Lieutenant Kitsuragi. We would be flattered if you even
I would have to tie things up in GRIH first. But, I mean, whatever is coming, Jamrock will be more central to it than the house.
And we also have a huge caseload, Lieutenant. Piles that we need to get back to.
I do like the sound of that.
You prêt?
Fuck it, let's go. Trump brought his motor carriage. It's a 20-minute.
Under the afternoon sky, the great... You close your eyes and hear the dogs. Dawson? Yes. McLean? Yes. Heidelstein? No. Vicmere? Yes. Dubois? Of course. Really? Nick Gottlieb looks up from the list. I hear he's unstable. You say that like it's a...
Wonderful. Then can we please just...
Eh bien c'est fini. On a enfin résolu cette affaire. On a retrouvé notre poste à l'office 41. On a recruté le lieutenant Kim. On a découvert une nouvelle espèce. Et bon, après il restait quelques quêtes de secondaires que j'ai pas fait. Il y en a certes une que je voulais finir, c'était celle avec le forteresse accident. Et le conteneur aussi, j'aurais bien aimé savoir ce qu'il y a dedans et continuer à parler avec Évrard Claire, mais bon. Tant pis. Merci à tous d'avoir suivi cette série et on se rejoint sur une nouvelle vidéo. Jusque là, prenez bien soin de vous. Salut!